After this cancer screening, Aine Shira for Gntv in Kasese.
Thank you so much, Chinese reporter. In other news, as Parliament is going in a short break for a festive season, the Parliament yesterday had a session and members of Parliament discussed certain issues that they have done for the people. Let's take a look at that story.
Constitution ya Uganda negamba ngu bamemba ba Parliament nibekorera amateka agali kubereka okubashimira kubandi batwaza babandi bakora emirimo ya Parliament. Ekimwe kitwateera mu mateka aga no kugira ngo twabandi tukora kabebembezi ba Parliament nk'abantu ba Parliament tuhereze ekitinisa buri omwe mu Parliament rero tube cyo kureberaho abantu abahera ba Uganda abari kugenda mu Parliament. So ko hano rero mu Parliament hari habatwiremu abari kumanya amateka, hari habasya abacagega mwe nimwe bibareba ubumwe nibibaho kweje mu twemerera kagira ngo ntanka yanahereze sente atende bujurizi just kushishizira ryo muntu uyanaga be sente arafutugira babe ba Parliament kandi atende bujurizi ukaza kuleta eco kiba kigwire ninga kugamba oti cabinet aha mukutu babo batire heki otari member utakabasa kukireto kacereka abantu ebyo yereka ngo hacariho muri mu muhango ogwo gukora okureba ngo ababemba ba Parliament bayetegereza okubashimira kubandi batwarizana kandi namuno kureba ngo bahereza n'ekitindisa twakora emirimo y'abantu ba Uganda Parliament
doing its best as members of Parliament, because when we are debating, we debate on a report or a motion or a petition that could have been processed and comes back to the House. So the committee takes time to interface with different people and comes up with its report with the recommendations. So members of Parliament internalize those recommendations, but also the issues, the findings of that report. And based on that, that is what forms debate. And most times either we agree with the committee findings or reject. So I think Parliament is trying and is doing its best.
As a senior legislator, you see we are taking the right path with what would people expect there?
Of course, it's just 1 year down the road since members of Parliament were elected. We got sworn in June. So we've handled issues really also that concern people. We've processed the issues of the parish development model. As to whether people have not got money, that is not really for us, it is for the executive, but we've done our best in terms of that. But of course there are also other issues where committees, because of reasons unknown to us, some may be beyond their control, they delay with some of the reports because there are issues that affect the public, like school fees does affect the public. There is a motion before the Education Committee. And there are also other issues. So for me, I think Parliament has done its best in processing business before it, because you cannot process something that is not before you. And Parliament conducts work through motions that are brought on the floor, through petitions that are brought on the floor, through maybe the committee bills that go before the committee. So that's how we work. You cannot just come out of the blue and start debating the matter. It must have come through the processes as laid down in the rules of procedure. So Parliament has tried. Of course, the public may expect much more, but we may not have met all that the public needs. For example, issues of healthcare that directly affects the public. The public expects us to pronounce ourselves on issues of school fees that affects them directly. We have not yet handled that, but we hope that now that we are going on this Christmas break, we hope that when we resume, we should be able to tackle some of those issues.
But in these regards, the report is very clear, that the minister has been found wanting of our position as a member, honorable member of Parliament, And we appeal to the Constitution, that is Article 118B of our Constitution, and Rule 106 of our Rules of Procedure. The Parliament invoke that rule and the rule, that article and the rule, to censor the minister. One thing which you people might have also seen, that there was a lot of political bargain from the government, from the Prime Minister and other members of Parliament. You also heard that money was exchanging hands, money was given. I did not see it myself. In any case, I don't work for anyone. I work for this Parliament. I have a mandate. I am an entity which cannot be bribed. I am an entity which cannot be bribed. And today, if this Parliament was to allow this lousy kind of apology, to accept that lousy apology from the minister, Kumia was ready to resign from the Committee on Rules and Privileges, because it is like we are making drama. The issue was very clear. Like, for example, the minister stated that she's going to serve me with a letter, a court letter.
Thank you so much, news reporter. Well, in other news, our very own King of Kings Church, Mbara, is hosting a youth conference that will run from today up to Sunday. And this conference is organized by Youth Ablaze under King of Kings Church. According to Bishop Silas Taewa, youth should come to church and leave alone the life of the world. A news report.
King of Kings Church Mbera is hosting a youth conference that will run from today up to Sunday, and this conference is organized by Youth Ablaze under King of Kings Church. According to Bishop Silas Taewa, youth should come to church and leave alone that life of world cup.
Mwen simarahanga wizoberi kandi tandika ekiterane ky'emyeto twebazarahanga abokuba mukama twire mu gishanki yanga litiri ya Uganda eminyeto niyo kusinga y'omwinjo mu yangomu 76% y'abanya-Uganda bona n'eminyeto mwen twebazarahanga ngo twaba twenda kugonjura ihangeri twaba twenda kureba ihangeri neza ombuteka twino kutandikira minyeto na munongo mbwire nko wegizira mu kiro kikuru kandi obwegiro mu kihumuro nebetaga tubahereza direction one twenda boko bibanet yangu yegeso mwana mhando gushikire no baraba yakozire tarugurugama mwene twino kubatandika abana bitu bakire bato tukabere ko mhanda gushikire ogushemiro kubashemiye kutoramu kandi bakabasa kugumizamo mwena wejo nicyo ndukwetera buri munyeto gubona uguri ni manya hato ni season ya World Cup ni season ya yokuzabura hamwe hona konke
amazina ni Maska Elizabeth Kurgaha King of Kings Church Kamukuzi Mbarara hamwe na Pastor Joshua Israel as a youth pastor of King of Kings Church. We call all of you youth everywhere you are and all people who are watching us, everyone, please come and attend this conference. Send all the youth, send all your daughters and sons, and also come and attend personally, because we are going to be blessed. We are not going to remain the same. We have invited so many precious guest preachers, and we are not going to remain the same. You're going to benefit a lot. This is our season 5 conference at King of Kings. Because we are the generation of tomorrow. God wants to use us tomorrow. God wants to build an army of tomorrow. Of course, those who are there right now, they are getting old, and we are the ones to rise up. Every youth out there, come on, rise up and come and let us serve God in power. Let us use our energy while we are still young for the glory of God.
Thank you so much, news reporter. So my fellow youth, that Bishop is urging us to always come to church, so endeavor to come to church and live the world of life. In other news, Government has officially notified power distributors Umeme that it will not renew its running 20 years concession when it expires in March 2025. Umeme, in a notice sent out on Thursday to its shareholders and the public, confirmed that it had received the communication from the Ministry of Energy. Let's take a look at that story.
Government has officially notified power distributors Umeme that it will not renew its running 20-year concession when it expires in March 2025. Umeme, in a note sent out on Thursday to its shareholders and the public, notified that it had received the communication from the Ministry of Energy. The company, however, retired commitment to continue performing its obligations as it winds down operations in the next 2 years. The company has formally received written communications from the government of the Republic of Uganda, notifying that in the current concession it will continue to run until its natural end in March 2025. As stipulated in the concession agreements, after which there will be no renewal, Umeme said in a statement. The company remains committed to performing its obligations as per the existing concession agreements and willing to continue to operate and maintain the electricity distribution systems in the line with prudent utility practice to ensure continued service delivery through to the end of the concession. Umeme, which replaced the effective Uganda Electricity Board in 2025, has in recent years fallen out of favor with the government, as President Yoweri Museveni currently blamed it for the high power costs, which has hampered rapid distribution. Museveni also publicly accused officials in the energy and finance ministries of onboarding Umeme without his knowledge. Last month, Minister of State of Energy Okasia Oplot said Umeme's fate was sealed during the cabinet meeting, ending years of speculation on the renewal of its concession. Okasia said the government was already preparing the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company to take over the role of power distribution in Uganda. Government currently took over Namamve Thermal Power Plant, which was being run by Jacobsen under a 20-year concession and was vowed not to renew COSEM's concession to rain. Government recently took over Namave Thermal Power Plant, which was being run by Jacobsen under a 20-year concession and was vowed not to renew ECOSAM's concession to run Kira and Nalubale dams beyond March 2023.
Thank you so much, Chinese reporter. Now, today's international news. The M23 rebels have agreed to cease fire and vacate occupied territories in eastern DRC, paving the way for a political solution to their grievances. Regional leaders on November 23 in Rwanda, Angola, resolved that M23 laid down weapons and vacate Bunagana and other occupied territories or face military actions. Let's take a look at that story.
The M23 rebels have agreed to cease fire and vacate occupied territories of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, paving the way for a political solution to their grievances. The M23 confirms its maintenance to cease fire, said the rebel movement. In regards to the implementation of the said recommendation, the M23 is ready to start disengagement and withdraw even though it was not presented at the summit, rebels added. Regional leaders on November 23rd in Rwanda, Angola, resolved that M23 laid down weapons and vacate Bunagana and other occupied territories or face military action. The rebels, who seized large swaths of land, including the major trade town of Bunagana, said in a statement seen by Gntv that it lends its support to the regional efforts to bring long-lasting peace in Democratic Republic of Congo. The M23 rebellion led to bad blood between President Paul Kagame of Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi, raising the prospect of all-out war. Tshisekedi accuses Rwanda of arming M23 with modern and long-range weapons and replenishing the rebel movement's ranks with soldiers to destabilize the mineral-rich North Kivu. On the other hand, Kagame accuses Tshisekedi's government of embedding FDLR fighters who were blamed on 1994 genocide in Rwanda in the attack units of the mainstream Congolese armed forces. Past Sunday, United States Secretary of State Anthony Blinken urged Kagame to stop support for M23 rebels and also condemned hate speech against Rwandophones in the mineral-rich country. Kagame has previously denied supporting M23 rebels, saying the fresh rebellion is a result of unfulfilled past agreements with Kinshasa. However, on a phone call with Kagame on Sunday, Blinken made clear that any external support to non-state armed groups in Democratic Republic of Congo must end, including Rwanda's assistance to M23, an armed group that has been designated by the United States and the United Nations. Secretary Blinken, according to a statement issued by the State Department spokesperson Ned Price, also shared deep concern about the impact of the fighting on Congolese civilians who have been killed, injured, and displaced from their homes. The M23 were last week accused of killing over 50 civilians in Kisheshe in North Kivu during a fight with FDLR and Mai Mai militia group, claims the rebel movement denied. Secretary Blinken also condemned the resurgence of hate speech and public incitement against Rwandaphone communities, recalling the real and horrible consequences of such rhetoric in the past. The UN recently warned that the current violence in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo was a warning sign of societal fragility and proof of the enduring presence of the conditions that allowed large-scale hatred and violence to erupt into a genocide in the past. The M23 have since requested a meeting with the East African Regional Standby Force to discuss the implementation modalities of the withdrawal of forces from occupied territories. The movement also requested a meeting with Uhuru Kenyatta, who is facilitating the political process on behalf of its East Africa community, to discuss the matter of its concerns. The rebels who seized Goma City in 2012 reiterated their readiness to the direct dialogue with the Democratic Republic of Congo government in order to find a lasting solution to the root causes of the conflict in Eastern DRC.
Thank you so much, Chinese reporter. South Africa's former health minister, Zweli Mkhize, is the main contender to run against scandal-plagued President Cyril Ramaphosa to lead the ANC. The party in power since the end of apartheid 30 years ago meets next week to decide who will lead the country in the 2024 general election. Let's take a look at that story.
South Africa's former health minister Zweli Mkhize is the main contender to run against scandal-plagued President Cyril Ramaphosa to lead the ANC. The party in power since the end of apartheid 30 years ago meets next week to decide who will lead the country in 2024 general elections.
I've received a nomination, which means that there are members who have felt that I should be considered. But from where I sit, I think that we need to bring a different style of leadership. We need to bring a leadership that will focus on implementation, and that's been my strength. Ensuring collective leadership that unites people, and therefore I want to have the impact of uniting the.
The 66-year-old doctor by training and former minister feels that his experience makes him ideally placed to respond to challenges on the ground.
I think the experience in implementation and running a successful government where we've been fighting corruption, ensuring efficiency and good governance, promotion of professional leadership, that has been very, very important, and so that's what I will be bringing. Energy security is a fundamental issue that will drive economic growth and industrialization. So we need to balance, firstly, dealing with the skills, technical skills needed to turn around ESCOM and stop this load shedding and interruption of
Thank you so much. Well, let's take a short commercial break. Don't go away. Coming back with more details.
This is Gntv, releasing life.
Simanyo polida. Estera nechemnyeto. Gahi. Aha King of Kings, aba Kings Youth Ablaze, aha siya King of Kings Ministries. Neba kweto multera ne rugogoma. Urisha kuba hebero mwenda kwisiye 11. Yo kwikumnebiri. 12
Aha King of Kings Church kam kuzipi n'abahereza bamaninka.
Kamso Bismarck Rutaraka, Pastor Nahave Safara, Dr. Timothy Nduhuchere, Jackie Kataha, Pastor Ambrose Besije, Apostle Rogers Muhereza.
N'abandi binji.
Nebeshongo Zinkarega Nkalunga.
Utakaferwe kigambo entertainment za buri muringo, workshops hamwe no kugabebera bo.
Okuriyana no kubyama kwashashurirwe. Kandi umutogoro teraneni,
reka bagabe bimuce bategeke.
Simanyo polida.
Omuzire wena kwendeza omwana by'obwegese birungi namutwara mu Midland Parents Secondary School kole bine na Scripture Union yamani abana babone bakora kurungi munonga kandi nari aboje nabishi boarding yonka okutwara omwana mu Midland tokwetenga bya katolize nkayinguni shopping nibakwereza bitabo uniforms obuchomo sabuni yo kuna bamwe no kozi amajuto go kwesiga nombazi gwa mino ogisire wono gwe kito na sanitary pads zabwa bishi nibahereza bikopana n'amasahani nibahereza n'intambura yabusha hari yabakuza Kampala no mwana wa watungo bushanja byubwabusha ebishare byabo nibirungi munonga
zinemitwaro 89 zonka kuruga sine yo kubanza mpaka sine ya mukaga
ogita emitwaro 5 ya admission fee echawe kiba cyaterera bakwegurire office ahari ekira building amwarara gwa kabiri ninga kwenda kumanya bukira
era noti mushanju shanju na 8 noti 2 na noti mushanju 5 emwishati 5 noti 25
asira mushanju 5 kinana na mwenda 25 5 ninga yasira mushanju 8 3 nkaga ni 5 ikumi na mushanju
Aibambe obwereza bwa Back to the Cross Ministry oburi kwebembera Pastor Rogers Kamya
iyo yafuke tukolimo wakahinduka omukyeno tufuke bamugisa
bakureta program nyamurungi komororwa kurwo muri eke kitwire kikukomire
This is Gntv, releasing life.
Back from that short commercial break. Yes. Now at sports news today, Netherlands and Argentina will revive a legendary World Cup rivalry when they meet in quarterfinals at Lusail Iconic Stadium today evening. Netherlands earned their place in the last 8 with a hard-fought 3-1 win over the United States, in which Denzel Dumfries was the star with 2 assists and 1 goal. Let's take a look at that story.
The muscular centre-half.
In our today's sports news, the Netherlands and Argentina will revive a legendary World Cup rivalry when they meet in a quarter-final at the Lusail Iconic Stadium today evening. Netherlands, commonly known as Orange, and their place in the last 8 with a hard-fought 3-1 win over the United States, in which Denzel Dumfries was the star with 2 assists and a goal. Argentina, meanwhile, also had to work hard to overcome Australia 2-1 in the round of 16 with goals from Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez. In other games, Brazil will face Croatia at Education City Stadium. Morocco will face Portugal at Al Sumama Stadium, and England will face France at Albert Stadium at 10 p.m. The Orange and their press in the last 8 with a hard-fought 3-1 win over the United States, in which Denzel Dumfries was the star with 2 assists and a goal. In head-to-head stats, the Netherlands and Argentina have met in 9 previous matches, and the Orange have claimed 4 wins compared to the La Absolete, While 2 games have been drawn, the teams last met in semi-finals of 2014 World Cup in Brazil, with the match ending 0-0 before Argentina triumphed 4-2 in penalties.
Arjen Robben, as he did the other day, is second up for them. And Robben scores with absolute precision.
Innocent Nwamanyitungo for
Thank you so much, Chinese reporter. Well, those that love football, hope you're enjoying the World Cup. In other news, the 2022 Kenya Golf Tournament has led as many as 250 golfers, both amateurs and professionals, at the Paz Uganda Golf Club in Kampala today morning. We have more details on that.
Many players expected. This tournament is actually oversubscribed. We have about 250 golfers that have registered.
The 2022 Kenya Golf Tournament has led as many as 250 golfers, amateurs, and professionals at PA 72 Uganda Golf Club in Kampala. The professionals has swung into action this very morning as the main championship will come on the subsequent day. The official launch was held at UGC yesterday, 8th December 2022, with different companies joining the noble cause, as graced by Kenya's High Court Commissioner at Uganda, Major General Retired George Agri Owino.
This event is held on the week that we normally celebrate our Independence Day, Jamhuri Day, and it's normally just a one-day event of a golf tournament. This year we chose to do it differently. And the theme we looked at was that as much as the independence was on one day, but there are quite a number of events that led to the Independence Day. And therefore we thought it wise to celebrate it, give it a wider space, and have a little bit more activity so that we have a bigger interaction of people at different levels.
Telecommunication companies have bankrolled this championship. Major General Retired Owino expressed the delight upon the overwhelming response by the different organizations to be part of the celebrations to mark Kenya's independence. Uganda Golf Club captain Emmanuel Wamala confirmed that turn-up is overwhelming as the numbers are increasing for those willing to take part. Wamala noted that the professionals will pray for 6 million as their kitty.
Then the professional kitty, we have 6 million shillings for the professionals.
As the main open swings on Saturday with enticing prizes to be won. Companies that have joined the bandwagon include Kenya Ports Authority, Kenya Airways, KCB Bank, Britam Insurance, Equity Bank, Crown Beverages Limited, among others. Beside the trophies and other perks, the excelling golfers will be rewarded with return air tickets from Entebbe to Nairobi and Mombasa cities. A story by Innocent Nwamanyitungo, Gntv Sport.
Thank you for watching Gntv at 12. That's all we had for you. And by the way, we are inviting all of you to this conference at King of Kings Church, mostly the youth. Don't miss out on this. I am Muton Gloria. Have a good afternoon.
This is Gntv, releasing